Chapter 23, Percents, Fractions, and Decimals. We're going to go through all this in about a day, day and a half. There's only 3 lessons with this, so we'll go through this rather quickly. So let's go ahead and get started. When we're changing a fraction to a percent, there's 2 ways to do it. One is if the denominator can be changed to 100, then we can do it that way. So by changing 20 into 100, we would go 20 times 5, and that equals 100. This pen isn't working. And we would go 14 times 5, which equals 70. So that gives us 70 over 100. So the answer would be 70%, because a percent is always going to be out of 100. So if we can have the denominator as 100, that makes it easier. Another way, which is probably going to be more the way that we're going to be doing it more often, because we're not always going to be able to change the denominator to 100, would be to divide the numerator by the denominator. This is the way we changed a fraction to a decimal. It's the same thing, only now we get rid of the decimal and add a 0, make it a percent. So 14 divided by 20, of course you have to add your decimal. 7 to 0 goes 0, 7 to 2 goes 14, and your answer is 0.7, which also equals 70%. Any number that is a point, like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, it's going to equal, for example, 0.1 is 10%. 0.01 is 1%. 0.2 equals 20%. 0.02 equals 2%. A lot of the kids get confused, and when they come out with 0.2, they want to say that is 2%, but it's actually 20%. So basically any number between 0.1 and 0.9 is going to equal between 10 and 90%. So 0.1 is 10%, 0.9 is 90%, 0.5 would be 50%, 0.6 would be 60%. Now any number between 0.01 and 0.09 is going to be that number as a percent. So 0.01 is going to be 1%, 0.09 is going to be 9%, and 0.02 would be 2%, 0.07 would be 7%. So here we have the ratio of a percent to 100. So we have 100 squares in this box, and 40% of them are colored. So that's 40 out of 100. That equals 40% of the squares that are shaded. Some more examples. We have 3/10. I can change 10 into 100 by multiplying it by 10 and multiplying the 3 by 10, and I would get 30 over 100, so my answer would be 30%. Any number over 100 is that number as a percent. 10 over 100 is 10%. 55 over 100 is 55%. Let's try 23 over 50. I can change 50 into 100 by multiplying it by 2 to get 100. And 23 times 2 is 46. So my answer is 46%. There are some problems where they're going to have to find the greatest number. Which one is the biggest percent? So they only have to really find one of the percents. We have 55%. 0.56 is just 56%. So we need to find out what 3/5 is. So if we're looking for the greatest number, 55 is already out because 56 is bigger than 55. So now we got to find out what 3/5 equals. So I can do it this way. 5 into 3 is 0. 5 into 30 goes 6. And remember that this 0.6 is really 60%. So the greatest number would be 3/5. 3/5 is bigger than 0.56 and 55%. You want to change all 3 numbers into percents. So one of them is already done for you. The other one, you just get rid of the decimal and the 0, make it a percent, and you just have to find out what that fraction equals. Here we have 8/11ths, 0.7, and 71%. So I'm going to change my 0.7 to 70%. So 71 is bigger than 70, so 70 is out. Now I just have to see what 8/11ths equal. Now you cannot change 11 to 100, so you have to do a division problem. 8 divided by 11. 11 cannot go into 8, so I have to add a 0. Bring it up. 11 into 80 goes 7. Add a 0. 11 into 30 goes 2. I can stop. This is not going to come out evenly, but this is already at 72%, which is bigger than 71. So the greatest number out of these three would be 8/11ths. If you keep on going, it's not going to come out evenly. We're just looking for those two numbers. Possibly 3. If we get to the third one, we'd have to round up or down, or round up, but I don't think they have to worry about that for this chapter. Here we have 2/3, 0.62, and 65%. So this is going to be 62%. This is 65%. We're looking for the for this one, we're looking for the greatest. So already we can get rid of 62 because 65 is bigger than 62. Now we just have to find out what 2/3 equals. So 2 divided by 3. Add my decimal and my 0 because it does not go. 3 cannot go into 2. 3 into 20 goes 6. Already I already see that this is going to be 60%. 3 into 20 again goes 6. And this one's probably going to keep going on, but I already have 66 here, which is bigger than 65. So 2/3 is greater than 6.62 and 65%. Sometimes they'll ask for the least number, so they just have to make sure they read the directions before they actually do the problem. Next, we're going to learn how to find the percent of a number. Now, I tell them this is something they're going to be using for the rest of their life, because if they have something they want to buy, like a video game, and it's 15% off, they want to find out how much money is going to be taken off that video game. So, for example, we have 15% of 40. So we're looking for 15% of 40. We're not dealing with money, but I always tell them that think of this as $40, and you get 15% off of $40. How much are you going to save? And the way we do that is we're going to change the percent to a decimal. And all we do is get rid of the decimal sign and add a decimal, the percent sign, add a decimal in front of it. So that becomes 0.15. The of becomes the multiplication sign, and then we're going to multiply. So they probably want to switch it this way so it's easier to work out. 0, 6, and we got 2 places, so we're going to go 2 places to the left. 1, 2. So we have 6.00. We get rid of the zeros, and all we have left is the 6. So the answer would be 6. 15% of 40 would be 6. So if this was dealing with money, $6 would be taken off the $40 of the price of whatever it is you're buying. We have 90% of 30. So this is going to become a decimal. Of becomes multiplication, and 30 just stays the same. So I can do this one of two ways. I can go 30 times 0.90, or I can go 30.9. So here 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 3 is 0. Add my other 0, then 9 times 0 is 0, 9 times 3 is 27. 2 places, 1, 2. So my answer would be 27. 90% of 30 is 27. This way, I can do it the same thing. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 3 is 27. I'm only going to go one place to the left because I only have one decimal, and I still get 27. I tell them to try to make it easier and get rid of the zeros if you can. Next we have 38% of 50. We already know that this is going to be more than 25. I'm sorry, not more than 25. Forget that. 30% of 50, so 0.38 times 50 and we got two places to the left, 1, 2, so it's 19. 38% of 50 is 19. So if something cost $50 and is 38% off, it'd be $19 off. That's pretty much for chapter 23. Again, it's important that they're in school for the next 3 to 4 weeks, so we're going over this before they take their STAR test. We'll be doing probably a chapter a day for the next few weeks and taking quizzes here and there to check their understanding.